In the 18th century, India accounted for about a quarter of the global GDP. By the middle of the 20th, colonialism ensured that we were one of the poorest nations of the world. That was our state when we became a founding member of the United Nations. But in the 75th year of its independence, India stands before you proudly as the fifth biggest economy of the world and still rising, as the strongest, most enthusiastic, and definitely the most argumentative democracy. Our development rests on an expansive digital public infrastructure designed to promote that no one is left behind. In recent days, digital technology has successfully advanced our food safety net to 800 million Indians. More than $300 billion of benefits have been distributed digitally. 400 million people get food regularly, and we have administered over 2 billion vaccinations. And the secret of that is indeed digital. India today envisions itself as a developed country by 2047, 100 years of our independence. We dream of digitizing our most remote villages and landing on the moon, perhaps even digitizing it. Excellencies, friends, we also meet at a time when India is confronting the challenge of terrorism, one that is a shared threat to the international community. I thank those who have expressed solidarity with us and understand the resolute response that is underway. India hopes that this would be done through deeper international cooperation, inspired by the manner in which the world came together 8 decades ago. For hope and optimism, as also for remembrance, underpinned by the conviction that international cooperation is even more important than ever before.
Excellency, you are visiting India at a time when we are responding to a barbaric terrorist attack on 27 in the Indian Union Kashmir. This attack compelled us to respond on 7th at cross-border terrorist infrastructure. Our response was targeted and measured. It is not our intention to escape. However, if there are military attacks on us, there should be no doubt that it will be met with a very, very firm response.
अगर चाइना जो है बॉर्डर पे दबाव डालने की कोशिश कर रहा है, I think we should be straight with China. तुम कर क्या रहे हो? And if you do this, there will be consequences. So I feel it is important, putting your point across. And your question कि आपकी सोच है, मोदी जी की है, कैबिनेट की. See, when you have a team like this, under a prime minister like this, because a lot of this is हम लोग मिलते रहते हैं, we interact with each other, there is a kind of a government feel. You automatically इसको आप internalize करते हैं. तो जब समय आता है कुछ कहने का, you are expressing, people may say I said it. I express what is actually the mood of the country. I mean, this was not, Jaishankar's personal view. I think the reason people responded was everybody said, हाँ भाई यही कहना चाहिए. This is what we all feel. इसका जो सुझाव जो है, it is actually in Atmanirbharta, that a country like India, to the moon you can send a mission, to Mars you can send a mission. You can't make weapons again. Of course we can. So what has happened? It is a question of leadership, vision, commitment. I am convinced, and this is really the feeling very much of Prime Minister and frankly the whole team. We are capable of much more than we have done. This China dependence is actually not only India's problem. It is actually, look at America. Even a country like America, because China माने global manufacturing के केंद्र में है, तो it has become उन पे निर्भर हो गया. तो today the big issue in global economics कि हम लोग जो है multiple supply chains बनाए, कि supply chain एक ही नहीं होना चाहिए, हर सप्लाई चेन एक सेंटर से जुड़ना नहीं चाहिए, माने इट शुड बी मल्टीपल सोर्स्ड, और ये हमारी कोशिश.
In terms of our oil purchases, we don't send people out there saying go buy Russian oil. We send people out there saying go buy oil. Now, you buy the best oil you can in the market. So I don't think I would attach a political messaging to that. So look, I mean, I don't want to sound argumentative, but then tell me if buying Russian gas is not funding the war. I mean, why is it's only Indian money and oil coming to India which funds, but it's not gas coming to Europe which funds? I mean, look, somewhere, I mean, let's be a little even-handed out here. Countries in Europe and the West and the United States are so concerned. Why don't they allow Iranian oil to come into the market? Why don't they allow Venezuelan oil to come into the market? I mean, they've squeezed every other source of oil we have, and then say, okay, guys, you must not go into the market and guess the best deal for your people. I don't think that's a very fair approach. If I were to take Europe collectively, which has been singularly silent on many things which were happening, for example, in Asia, you could ask, why would anybody in Asia trust Europe on anything at all? Today, Europe is buying oil. Europe is buying gas. I just read the new package of sanctions. Now, the package is designed in a way in which consideration has been given to the welfare of the population. So, pipelines have a certain carve-out. And timelines have been given. It's not like tomorrow morning everything is going to be cut off. So people need to understand, if you can be considerate of yourself, surely you can be considerate of other people. So if a Europe says, look, we have to manage it in a way in which its impact on my economy is not dramatic, that freedom or that choice should exist for other people as well. Europe has to grow out of the mindset that Europe's problems are the world's problems, but the world's problems are not Europe's problems. That if it is you, it's yours. If it is me, it's ours. There is a linkage today which is being made. A linkage between China and India and what's happening in Ukraine. So come on, guys. I mean, China and India happened way before anything happened in Ukraine. We have a difficult relationship with China. We're perfectly capable of managing it. It's if I get global understanding and support, obviously it is of help to me. But this idea that I do a transaction, that I come in one conflict because it will help me in conflict too, that's not how the world works. A lot of our problems in China have nothing to do with Ukraine, have nothing to do with Russia. They predate it. This is the construct you are trying to impose on me, and I don't accept it. I mean, I don't think it's necessary for me to join this axis or not, and if I'm not joining this, I must be with the other one. I don't accept that. I mean, I think I'm 1/5 of the world's population. I am today the 5th or 6th largest economy in the world. I mean, forget the history, civilization bit, everybody knows that. But I think I'm entitled to have my own side. I'm entitled to weigh my own interests, make my own choices. And my choices will not be cynical and transactional, but they will be a balance of my values and my interests. There is no country in the world which disregards its interests. Wheat was actually being stocked for being traded. So in a way, our goodwill was being used for speculation. So we had to do something to stop that because it was also impacting us at home. Our prices were going up. So I want to be very clear what we have done. We have actually said, look, we're not going to give speculators an open access to the Indian market so that the Indian customer and the LDCs of the world get the short end of that. And preventing a diversion to high-income countries with a greater possibility to buy, because what we saw happen with the vaccines, we don't want to see happen with the wheat, which was the rich people got vaccinated and the poor were left to God. And
I think I appear to be an optimist in what is a relatively pessimistic panel, if not room. So I'll begin by sticking up my finger, and don't take it badly, it's the index finger. The mark you see on my nail is a mark of a person who's just voted. In Indian elections, roughly 2/3 of eligible voters vote. At the national election, electorate of about 900 million, about 700 million voted. We count the votes in a single day. Nobody disputes the result after it's announced. And if you look, and by the way, from the time we started voting in the modern era, 20% people more vote today than they did decades ago. So the first message that somehow democracy is in trouble globally, worldwide, I'm sorry, I have to differ with it. I mean, right now, we are living well, we are voting well, we are optimistic about the direction of our democracy. And for us, democracy is actually delivered. Senator, you said that, democracy doesn't put food on your table. Actually, in my part of the world, it does. Because it actually, today, because we are a democratic society, we give nutrition support, food support to 800 million people. And for whom that is a matter, of how healthy they are and how full their stomachs are. From our perspective today, for us, democracy is delivered. We have a visibly less elitist society. We have one where the public has faith in the political process. I would argue that in many ways, India, because it's historically been an open society, one very much linked with the world, many countries of the global south are more likely to say the Indian experience is more transposable to their societies than perhaps those of others. So I do think in our progress as a democracy, the fact that, for all the challenges that we've had, even at a low income, we have stayed true to the democratic model, which is almost, if you look at our part of the world, we are pretty much the only country that has done that.
So let me conclude by reiterating that India stands committed, it stands ready to strengthen its partnerships with the United Nations to ensure a brighter future for the planet. We have full faith in the principles of the United Nations, in its charter, and in our belief in reformed multilateralism as key to shared goals of the world. The world, in our view, is one family. Your presence today reaffirms that.